Hi, and welcome back to the fourth part of our start in Empyrion. So where we are is we ran around and we got all of the core materials. Now, core materials being silicon, iron, copper, carbon substrate, and wood. We went as far as we could with those materials, but we're in a position where we want to do a few more things. But the trouble is we're going to need some different materials now. So if we just look at one thing we want to do is we want to make a drill. Now, if we just look at the requirements for a drill, it requires an energy matrix. Now, to get an energy matrix, we just go into here. Requires cobalt. Now, we don't have cobalt yet, so that's one thing that we need to go get. But also, if we want to make a drill, we have to be able to make these things as well, drill charges, and that requires promethium. So that's two things that we need to get so far, cobalt and promethium. So what else? If we remember when we made the SV, we put a turret on here. So let's just get in and go to P. So we're actually in excess of the CPU. Now, CPU efficiency is 84%. We put an extra thruster on the back, so we're still at maximum speed, but it means that the handling is going to get a bit sloppy because we've got side thrusters as well, and they're all going to be working at less than 100% efficiency. So one thing we want to do, if we just go to F3 in the tech tree and just go to small vessel. So we want to get a CPU extender so that we can increase the weight limit on the SV. So actually that uses up, we've just got enough points to do that. But now we're down to 0 points, which is another issue. So we need to level up and get more points. That's another thing that we need to do today. But if we just go to F and input CPU, we can restrict it to small vehicles here. CPU extender T2. Now that needs a flux coil. And if we look at flux coil, that's going to be in general. Now that's going to take titanium, neo, and cobalt. So there's another couple of things that we need to get, titanium and neo. And finally, there's one other thing that we want to do. We want to go up into space at some point. But to do that, we're going to have to make this thing here an EVA boost. Because if you look at the cold protection there, it gives you 190 degrees of cold protection. And if you're going into space, it's cold up there. So we're going to need one of these when we go up there. We could just wait until we find one, but we could make one. But if you notice there, if you want to make an EVA, it requires yet another ingredient at the bottom, a gold ingot. So that's basically 5 things we need to find today. Gold, titanium, cobalt, neo, and also promethium. But we also need to level up, and we can do all that just by running around in our SV. So that's the goal today. We're going to be leveling up and finding those 5 extra ingredients so that we can start making stuff. So let's go for a spin. We haven't done this before. So it's spacebar to go up, firstly. Then W to go forward, S to go backwards, so A to go to the left, D to go to the right. But you can also steer with the mouse. Trouble there is that if you move around with the mouse, you start to roll. And if you roll, then you're unaligned. So there is an additional key as well, where you hit the Q key and you roll to your left. E key rolls to the right. But you've also got this, I think it's the O key. I did remap it because I found that the O key was in an inconvenient position. So if you press the O key, it just stabilizes you both horizontally. So if you get out of position like this, for example, you just hit the O key and it just puts you back. And there you go. Now, one other thing, if you press the W button, as you can see, that blue bar goes up and down there. When we get up to our maximum 70 meters per second there, you take your finger off the W bar, obviously you slow down. Now what you can do while you're on W is hit the control key and you watch there's a bar that goes up on the right hand side there, and that's like cruise control. You can now take your fingers off of the keyboard and it just goes around automatically. Alright, so we need to level up and we need to find a bunch of stuff. So firstly, we do have a detector if we hit 2 key. So let's just ping there. Now, if we go and discover something like a resource, we're going to get between 80 and 120 points. You have to get within 400 meters in ping. There you go, we got 120 for discovering that carbon. But if you discover a location like here, get within 400 meters, then you get 300 XP per location. So there's a lot of locations on this planet. So if we just travel around, pinging and discovering all of the locations, we're going to get a lot of XP. So that's what we're going to do today. But we're also going to make a few stop-offs. Now, one of the stop-offs that we're going to make is here. There are a couple of activators on the planet. I'm not sure what they do. I don't think they do anything. But as far as the location is concerned, this is where we can get some Neo. So if we just park here, we have a turret active, so that's going to protect us. So let's just go to resource mode. So what we can do here is just run around and pick up some Neo here. And that's what it looks like, neodymium. But there are a couple of things that we can do here. There are also a lot of plants. So we want to level up. So what we can do is run around and pick up a bunch of plants as well while we're getting as much Neo as we can find. I want to get about 20, 25. So I'm just going to run around here, pick up as many plants as I can, and get to about 25 Neo. I'm avoiding the full word there because I don't know how to pronounce it. But there's something else that we need to find here, and it's eggs. And you just look for these things here, and we just need a couple. So I'm just going to pick that up. Alright, so I'll see you back at the ship once we're done. Getting back to the ship now. So if we just take a quick look at what we've got, I'm just going to go F4. What we picked up is on the left here. So I can put some things into the fridge. I moved all of the perishables and the meds into here, because while it's on, the fridge is active and it'll stop things going bad. But we've got a bunch of plant protein, a few vegetables. We've got 4 eggs. So if you want eggs, you just come to any of the spots where you see an activator. But it's got to be these spots with the kind of lunar landscape. So we've got 16 Neo there. And I'm just going to move that into the fridge for now and just move that into the container controller. So this here, the plant protein, just going tab and just going to convert all of that into energy bars. All right, let's head off. If we just take a quick look at the map now. So we are at this activator here. If we move east, then means that sunrise is going to be much quicker. So I'm going to do it this way. Just get to where it's sunrise. Meantime, we just need to discover as much as possible just for the XP. As mentioned, we just need to get within 400 meters of something. Ping, there we go. 100 XP for that one. Oops, clip something. Just looking at the map here, actually. Some of these mountain sites here with the trees, it's a bit dark, unfortunately. Yeah, we're going to come back here in the daytime because you can get some promethium here. There are a couple of sources of promethium, but this is one of them. This is the easiest one as well. There's another one under the water, but it's a bit of a pain trying to get that with the survival tool because it takes a long time to dig through it or to mine it. So as far as the best way to get the one, I think we only need about 1 or 2 pieces of promethium. It's going to be here. But anyway, let's head towards sunrise so that we can do all this in daytime. We'll come back. So meantime, all we need to do is just keep discovering things. Here's another activator. Now that one's not going to give us our Neo because it's not in the, it's not located in that kind of moon. But I saw something there, but it's too dark again, so let's just move on. Alright, so while we're in the dark, let's just keep discovering things. Just keep picking up that XP. Alright, now we're into the light. Eventually we'll just fly around, just discover everything here, and that should get us up. If we take a quick look at our level, we started at low level 7, so we're 70% of the way to level 8. Now we did pick up quite a few plants at the activator site, and we'll pick up more along the way. We'll probably be at around level 9 by the time we get back. So we'll have plenty more points to play with. But meantime, let's just discover everything. So I'm going to go no there. So that's an artifact site. So when we do a little quest for the Talon later on, they're going to send us there. But we're not going to worry about that today. Meantime, we just need to keep on discovering stuff. And we'll stop off like we did at the artifact site. You see this lake here? We're kind of at the ice line, and there is a forest ahead of us. Again, there are a couple of locations where we can get gold, but this is one of them. In fact, any of the forest areas along the ice line, some are better than others, but this one is particularly good. For example, this is gold here. Now we need 5 pieces of gold to get the 1 gold ingot that we need. So that gave us 3 actually. Quite a lot. Often it only gives you 1. But if you just run around this tree-lined area here, you should be able to get the gold that you need. So that's already what we need. Okay. Yeah, sometimes it just gives you 1, but it seems to be giving us more than that today. This is another 3. It was just being generous, but as you can see, there are quite a few nodes here. That was just 1. Right. But there are also some plants here, and there's another node. So that's where you can get your gold anyway. So that's enough gold that we can now make the EVA when we get back. So that's one of our goals ticked off. We've also got the Neo ticked off. That's another one. So let's just keep going. Yeah, any of these tree-lined areas here along the ice line are liable to have gold, but also the on the land side. So this here is cobalt. Let's just get out. So yeah, just along the ice line, pretty much the whole way round, you can get cobalt. So that is a raptor. So the if it were to be chasing us, normally the turret would take care of it, because we do have ammunition. Just check. P15mm bullets. No, we don't. Oh, where did the ammo go? Oh, still got on us. Duh. All right. So let's put that where it belongs. Okay. So now it will protect us. There we go. But we can get all of the cobalt we want if we just follow, and there it is. It's just cutting down the raptors there. So next stop is going to be, I'm just going to go along, tempted to call it the coast here, and just get a whole bunch of cobalt back in a minute. Just checking how much we've picked up. I've only got about 14 cobalt. I'll make a point of getting a little bit more before we get home. A little bit more Neo as well, because there are a few other things we might want to do after we make the CPU upgrade. But here's our next stop. It's the abandoned base. Now, we are going to go into combat here, and it's possible that we may take damage. So one thing that we definitely want to do, because we have made modifications to the ship, we're going to save the template so that if we have to do repairs, and repair to template, and we've now got it saved as it currently is. So we've got 4 enemies we need to take care of here. So firstly, let's equip the gun and press R. That will load the guns. So the way you want to come into this is there's kind of a yellow thing there, right behind the red reticle there. So you could also see, there's one other thing that we didn't do. And you want to do this if you've got more than 1 turret. So let's go P. And let's go to devices. Now here are the things at the bottom that we've added, a minigun turret and a thruster. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a group, and you really want to do this if you've got more than one. So I'm going to call it turrets. So that's a new group that we just added. So just click on the turret, and we're going to go add to group, and we're going to select turrets. Okay, so then we're going to go to the turrets group. And as mentioned, if you've got more than one, you want to do this by grouping. So the reason it's shot there was it was aiming for either a generator or something else here. And we don't want it doing that. So I'm going to stop it firing at bases. So now the only thing that it's going to fire at is basically predators and NPCs. And then apply to group. So now when we go back, it won't be wasting bullets on basically firing into that wall. So anyway, as we were. Now, as mentioned, you want to be coming in right here, and you've got kind of that mushroom-shaped thing there. Now, as we get closer, you're going to get a spawn in right in front of us there. You can take care of him before he turns around and starts firing at us. There he is right there. So that's one down, 3 to go. Next one is going to be over here. We just go to the right. We'll spawn in right in front of us there. That's number 2. The next one is going to be right here. That's number 3. And the final one is going to be another one of those kind of mechanoid things. It's going to be around here. Right there. Okay, down. So now we can land. There are no more enemies. Although we will hear a bunch of scary noises. Nothing else is going to attack us here. So that gives us... let's just loot these guys before they despawn. Because we did need an energy matrix. A projectile rifle rounds, they'll come in handy. Remember, we needed an energy matrix. And it did require... I think that required cobalt. Sometimes these guys will give it to us. Yeah, you hear those noises. So we're going to do this POI later, but once we go downstairs, we're going to start bumping into those guys making the noises. But we're not going to do that today. So we just got some fuel and ammo out of that. There's also a couple of cargo boxes up here. That's just electronics, and all of it's going to be useful at this stage. But very often, yep, there we go. 4 energy matrices. And we needed one of those, didn't we? Much more stuff. Yeah, we can't take any oxygen right now because we don't have access to it. So I think that's it as far... Did we get this one? No, we didn't. So that's it as far as... We'll be able to pick things like this up later once we've destroyed the core here and placed our own core down. We can't do that right now. So a few more boxes up here. Sorry, slight discontinuity there because I had to deal with a phone call, but we're back. So let me see, we looted that one. Okay, oh, 5 more energy matrices. Okay, we only needed 1 though. All right, these ammo boxes tend to give us some higher end ammo that we don't particularly need right now, but we'll take it. You know, 30mm, okay. So that one always seems to give us this multi-charge. Now, if we just go to F3, that's going to be useful once we manage an upgrade. To if we just go to Tools, once we upgrade to a multi-tool Tier 2, now we're liable to find one of these anyway, but we can't make it to level 12 anyway. But this is what we... oh, I'm going to take this one. This is what we really came for. So what you get out of here, it varies a lot. But let's see what we get today. Okay, hand cannon, not great. And an SMG. Sometimes you get... Yeah, that's not brilliant. Magnesium, don't really need that either. Sometimes you get a lot of ores. And that's what we would have preferred today. But we didn't get it. So once we take on this POI, this is the way in. So there's nothing to loot here, and we can't go any further than here because if you just look around the corner there's a gun, and that will shoot us as soon as we get within range of it. So we're not going to be doing that today. Alright, so that's as far as we're going to go with this location. And because it is close to the ice line, there's also a bunch of... there we go, there's also a bunch more cobalt. So I'm just going to carry on getting the... oops. Let me see. You want to be our resource smart? Okay, I'm just going to carry on getting a bunch more cobalt, and then I'll see you at the next stop-off area. We've just arrived at our next stop-off point. If we just go M for map. Now, we found this thing called the supply depot here. We're going to do a quest later on. Talon will send us here. But we're just going into this mountain area here. And we've got all this kind of... we've got all these trees on the side of the mountain. Now, we need some promethium. If you look among the trees, there's always the occasional promethium node. But this is hidden by the trees, so you can't always see it that easily. It's usually, I think, is that one? Let's just get out and run around, because it might be easier just to see without the trees in the way. Yeah, there's one there. So we actually only need, I think it's one promethium. Because there are a couple of sources on this planet. That was 2. Right, that's iron. Oops, we are hungry. Alright, need a bit more in a minute. So we could look for more promethium, but we only needed 1. You can also find gold up here if you really look closely. Don't see any right now, but yeah, there's one right there. So we got enough gold as it is. As mentioned, you can find gold up here as well. Alright, so we've got everything that we need, except for titanium. So let's just head back to the camp. The camp is right there on our left. Now, if we just go over here, you can always find titanium. The camp is pretty much always next to a lake. And if you run around the lake, then you're going to find titanium. But there are also a lot of plants here, and we do need that level up. So if we just run around here, we're liable to run into raptors, but as long as we stay close to the ship, then the ship will deal with it. So this is titanium here. So we do need a bunch of this, and there's quite a lot of it bunched together here as well. So as it's dark, I'm just going to do this off camera. I'm back in a minute. Oh, here's a raptor. So let the ship do its thing. So yeah, you're liable to run into these guys if you run around at night. Okay, one more. Go on, ship, do your thing. Alright, and they gave us a bit of meat, which is going to be useful. Where's the other one? There. Because once we start that quest for the Talon... But yeah, that's what you can run into if you run around at nighttime. Which is why we didn't do it before. I mean, we're doing it now because we have the ship to protect us. But anyway, I'm just going to get a few more bits of titanium. It's quite bright, actually. For some reason, I had the light off before, the helmet light. Okay, back at the ship. So we've got 26 titanium there, which is enough to be getting on with. But we know where to go if we want more. Because I didn't pick it all up. So let's just get back to the camp. So we've now got... So we now know where to get the neo, cobalt, etc. if we need any more. So I'm just going to inventory manage a little bit. Back in a moment again. Okay, inventory manage. So we've now got all of the buildables in here. So it's basically everything we picked up today. So let's just check first that we've got fuel, 8%. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so we did want to make a bunch of things, and one of them was a drill that we no longer have to use the survival tool for drilling, because that was a bit of a pain. But we also needed the promethium, And we've got enough there. That creates 10 pellets each, I think. So we can do... Output count there is 5. So we can actually get 10 of those on the go. Now, what else did we want to do? We wanted the CPU upgrade for the small vehicle. So that is going to be right here. CPU extender T2. Just check the placeable SV. So it's definitely that one. Now, with the CPU upgraded, we can load up the SV with more weight. So we can get that second turret on. So I'm going to do that as well. Now, what else did we want to do today? We got the CPU upgrade. We needed the EVA, didn't we? And we've got the gold for that now. So there's our EVA boost. Okay, let's just wait for all of that to cook up. The constructors are still working on what we put it on, but there's one final thing we need to do before we move to making a base. And that is, we've got our armor, we've got our SV, we don't have any weapons right now. We're coming up to a point where we're going to start talking to the Talon, and they're going to start sending us on a quest. And that quest is going to require some hand-to-hand combat. And we don't have any weapons right now, so we need to get some. So if we just go to weapons, well, firstly, let's just go tab. Remember, we were at the very early stage of level 7. But now we're at level 8, and we're 86% of the way to level 9. So we had 0 points this morning. We've now got 40 to spend. Okay, so let's go to F3, weapons. I'm just going to go with the assault rifle. We're going to be gifted a shotgun pretty soon. I'm going to go sniper. And we need to get those made. Which one? So that was busy on 15 mil. Alright, so there's the assault rifle. So there's your sniper rifle. Now, the sniper rifle takes sniper rifle rounds. And we're not going to be using it that much. So output count there is 15, so I reckon 150 is going to work. The assault rifle uses projectile rifle rounds, and we're going to get through a lot of those. So let's just go projectile rifle rounds. Now this output count here is 50, so that's going to be 500, well, slightly over 500,000. That's 1,000. That's a shade over 2,000. I think, though, we're going to run out of copper. I've got 108. And I think the ammunition requires, yeah, copper ingots. There you go. So might just make it. No, we're going to run out. Alright, so that's one of the goals that we need to do tomorrow. And that is, we're going to have to mine some copper. Alright, so there is... let's see, if we just go to F4, I just picked up a couple of plants while we were waiting. I'm just going to put that into the fridge in the SV. So there's our drill charges and there's our drill. So we can now equip our drill, R to load it. And just quick demo of how fast it is compared to the survival tool. There you go, boom. So we can now mine much more quickly. And as we just identified, we're going to be out of copper very, very shortly. So we're going to have to go mine some copper at a minimum. But we're also going to be out of carbon substrate very shortly as well. So we are going to have to go mining, but we no longer have to rely on that survival tool anymore. Everything's going to be much quicker. Okay, so there's our CPU upgrade. There's our EVA boost. So firstly, if we just go to P and then devices and then go to the armor locker here and access. So you got 2 spots here that you could put boosters on. So we could put this on now. And if you just look here, the 5 degree to 45, as soon as you add an EVA, you're good down to minus 185 degrees centigrade. So we can go up into space now and not freeze to death. The only problem there is, you look at the EVA there, armor minus 80. So we don't want to be wearing that. Or rather, we do want to be wearing it once we go up into space, but we don't want to be wearing it while we are liable to be going into combat. So we're just going to stick it in the locker there. Okay, next. Now we did have one turret on. So we want to... actually, let's just put the turret on first. And then we'll deal with the CPU. Okay, that's the same position. So now we've got two. So that's pretty much as much firepower as we need with this thing for now. We'll be upgrading the SV down the road, but for now this does quite a lot of damage, so we're good there. So if we just go P and we go into main, we can see that we're way over CPU usage now. CPU efficiency down to 62%. In fact, if we look at the maximum speed in the top right there, it's now dropped to 60 meters per second. So, but that's why we did the... actually, I'm just going to get off the ground for this. But that's why we invested in the CPU. So what we want to do here is go into retreat blocks. There's the CPU thingy here that we're about to add. If you look at the size, does it tell you the size? Can't see where it tells you the size, but it's 1 times 1 times 1, so it's just a small block. So you've got all these trusses here that you can remove to add things. I'm just going to take this one out here. Oops, wasn't loaded. And then we can add our CPU there. Okay. So now if we get up and just stick it on the ground again, and just go P, so we're now up to a maximum of 15,000. Our CPU efficiency is now at 100%. If we just get out of there, our maximum speed is back up to 70, but also our maneuverability is now much better than it used to be as well. Okay, so that's as much as we wanted to do today. So we got our drill, we've got our multi-tool, even though it's just the first level. So what we're going to be wanting to do next is put a base up. As mentioned, the base is entirely voluntary. You can live on this planet just with this sort of arrangement, just by putting stuff haphazardly around a core just placed on the ground here, and you can get by quite easily with that. So we're just going to place a base down just to have some walls around us, just for a quality of life thing. And that's going to be our goal next. And what we're actually going to do as far as a base, if you go to F2, so I'm just going to go to the stock things again by hitting this key and the bases. Again, the thing to do here is start a new game in creative and then just spawn in every single tier 1 base here, maybe even the tier 2s depending, and just pick one that you like. For me, I like the Blue Moon base. Now the problem with half of the T1 bases here is that they come with guns that you don't need, but I quite like this Blue Moon base. It's really affordable. We just got to go get a bunch of stone basically, and the fact that it has guns, pretty much ignore that. I mean, we won't be using them, but it doesn't make it unaffordable, and it's a base that I really like. But as I said, go creative, spawn them all in, pick the one you like. You'll find that half of the ones do have guns, and you might end up in the same situation where the one you want and the one you like has guns that we don't need. But anyway, I'm going to go for the Blue Moon base. Now, as we can see, we're going to need iron. Now, we're going to be running out of copper anyway, so we know tomorrow that we need to... In fact, I'll do this off camera. I'm going to go copper mining. I'm also going to go get some carbon. I'll do one mine on camera in the next episode. But then I'll do a bit of mining off camera. But that's going to be the goal tomorrow. And that is to get this going. We're also going to have to unlock a bunch of stuff here, which we may have to go up another level to do. But we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to call it there for this episode. And hope to see you in the next one. And we'll get a base up and running. So thanks for watching. Bye.